What is up, y'all boys? I will be going over how my teacher actually ended up saving me hundreds of dollars today. Uh, so basically, I'll be starting off with my daily bias for today. So if we go to the 4 hour, so we see I marked up this BPR, this 4 hour fair value gap that we have. So basically, this whole down move, this was yesterday, and we see we consolidated here through our Asian session, London session. And so essentially we made this whole upwards move followed by this whole downwards move to equilibrium. So I was considering taking long plays. However, that was on the back of my mind. We ended up not turning bullish, and I'll be going over in depth why. And so I also had this BPR for value gap right here, just in case we wanted to come up and get a further move down, as we can also see that did not happen. And so let's go ahead and just erase that. These are things that I had in the back of my mind. And so let's go down to the 1 hour. And so I marked up my high time frame draws and liquidity. So this was a 4 hour buy side draw. Did not end up hitting that. And so we also had this fair value gap right here. Or I think I already took that off. And so right here we just have more so like low resistance, high time frame draws and liquidity. And so we have these highs up here, and then we have these highs up here, which we did end up getting a reaction off of, or we did end up sweeping. And so we also have this 1 hour fair value gap right here, just to keep that in mind. And so we have this 1 hour fair value gap, and then we also have buy side liquidity right here. And so when we scale down even further, we see obviously this dotted line, vertical dotted line, is our market open. We end up, so this is our high right here, and we don't end up sweeping it here. We don't end up sweeping it here. Uh, I think we actually end up sweeping it right here. And we also get a tap back into this fair value gap, right? And so obviously we can see, oh, we tap, we tap, we tap, and we still don't get an inverse fair value gap. This means to me, right, this is a very strong area for price to ultimately get a very, very strong reaction to the downside off of, because we can see that this fair value gap is holding strong. And so from here, right, once we do end up sweeping this buy side liquidity, I'm looking for some sort of selling pressure from it, right? Obviously, when we come to the equilibrium of this fair value gap and we sweep liquidity, that is a big indication that we will get. And also, guys, sorry, we also see this bearish SMT on the 5 minute, and I can show you guys this right here. So when I scale out, when I have my cursor on the left side, right, we can see these exact highs connected to these exact highs. Right here on NASDAQ, we create higher highs. Here we create lower highs, meaning NASDAQ is a bearish, this is a bearish SMT with NASDAQ being our lagging index. So all of this is really adding up perfectly for me to end up taking a short. And so I end up closing my computer, I think, on this candle right here before we actually retrace into the equilibrium of this fair value gap. And so we also have the equilibrium of this whole downwards move marked out. This is something I was considering. And so this was perfect for me, right? Equilibrium of the whole downwards move, equilibrium of the fair value gap. We get a break of structure from here, and I'm entering. And so we actually get a retracement into this equilibrium right here of the fair value gap and of the whole downwards move on this candle right here. And then when we go down to the 1 minute, we can see we get an inverse fair value gap. So we see this 1 minute fair value gap right here created. We inversed it on this candle. We would have entered right here. However, we would have gone stopped out. We end up coming up here. Stops are above this fair value gap right here. Obviously, I'm not going to put it all the way up here. That'd be a horrible risk reward. This was going to be a good risk reward, 1.68 RR. Targeting, I think it was somewhere down here. So one of these lows. I can't remember. But essentially that's where I had it. The point is we ended up getting stopped out. And so for me, right, am I glad that I ended up not losing money? Sure. Am I upset that the strategy did not work out even though we everything added up? Very much so. We had a bearish SMT, we're sweeping buy side liquidity. We come back into this 1 hour imbalance, we respect it, and then we wait for our 5 minute break of structure, which is also selling pressure, followed by a 5 minute retracement into equilibrium of the whole downwards move and equilibrium of a fair value gap, right? We wait for the 1 minute break in structure as our continuation confluence. We enter and we would get stopped out. And so this is honestly, I don't see uh, I'd say that I would have controlled my emotions very well. I was very intentional about looking for areas where I would have messed up. I still don't see an area where I messed up. I would very much appreciate someone pointing out what I did wrong here or what I would have done wrong, but I really don't see that this would have been a matter of FOMO trading or emotions. I really just don't think the market wanted to agree with me today, and I don't think it was I really don't think it would have been emotional. I really think it was the strategy that just did not end up working today or something. I really don't know. And so, man, it was so close to being a textbook trade, but it really wasn't. And so I think obviously we didn't lose today. We would have, but we lost. We've already lost 2 trades and won one yesterday. And so overall for the year, it's been a little bit of a rough start, but yeah, man. It's crazy. But yeah, boys, I mean, I hope you guys got some value from this video. I appreciate you guys watching. Please follow me on YouTube and on Instagram. I will see you boys in the next video.